All right, welcome back. Today, we're cracking open what has to be one of the most detailed and ancient blueprints ever recorded. We are going to follow the divine instructions piece by piece for building a sacred dwelling as laid out in Exodus chapter 25. And believe me, this is so much more than an architectural plan. It's like a window into a completely different world.
Right out of the gate, we get the entire purpose, the whole point of this thing. This isn't just about building a structure. The emotional core of this massive undertaking is to create a physical space for the divine to actually dwell among the people. It's all about presence.
So here's our game plan. We're just going to follow the instructions in the exact order they were given. We'll look at the materials, the sacred furniture, and then the big, overarching idea that ties this whole construction project together. Okay, let's dive right in. Before a single piece of wood is cut or a single hammer is swung, the very first instruction is about gathering the materials. But the how they're gathered is just as important as the what. This wasn't a tax. It wasn't some mandatory thing. I mean, just look at this list of materials. It's incredibly specific and super valuable. We're talking gold, silver, rare gems, the richest fabrics. But what's truly fascinating, the one condition that's stressed above everything else, is that these gifts have to come from every man that giveth it willingly with his heart. So the real foundation of this holy place isn't the gold or the silver, but that voluntary, heartfelt generosity that's behind it all. All right, now we get to the very first object to be built, and it's the most sacred item of all. This is not just a piece of furniture, it's the symbolic, and maybe literal, heart of the entire sanctuary, the Ark of the Testimony. The command is pretty simple and direct. Shittim wood, which you might know as acacia wood, was a big deal in the ancient world because it was super durable and didn't rot easily. So it's a really practical choice for an object that's meant to last, forever. And the blueprint is just meticulous. A cubit, by the way, was an ancient unit of measurement. Think roughly the length of a forearm, so about 18 inches. So we're looking at a chest that's around 45 inches long by 27 inches wide and tall. Then it's completely covered inside and out with pure gold. But this last detail is absolutely crucial. The carrying poles, the staves, they are to be left in their rings permanently. This was a symbol that it was always ready to move. But the ark itself, well, that's just the box. What goes on top is a totally separate, unique piece that has its own profound meaning. This is not just a lid, it's called the mercy seat. Yeah, the mercy seat is no simple lid. It's this incredibly ornate sculpture with two cherubim. And the text describes their posture so specifically. They face each other, but their gaze is directed downwards, toward the seat itself, and their wings stretch up and over it, like a protective canopy. They are literally guardians of this incredibly sacred space. You can see the exact wording from the source text right here. The imagery is just so powerful and specific. Wings stretched forth on high, covering the mercy seat. I mean, just think about that for a second. Every single detail of this design is dictated by these words, creating this very precise, very important focal point. And boom, here it is. The whole point is revealed right here. This entire assembly, the ark and the mercy seat together, is explicitly designed to be the central point of communication. This is the very spot where God will meet and speak with Moses. It's the designated interface between the divine and the human. Okay, let's move on to the next item in the sanctuary's blueprint. After the seat of communion, we get the instructions for a table that has a very specific ongoing job. This is the table for the shewbread. You can start to see a pattern emerging in the design, right? We've got shittim wood overlaid with pure gold, finished with this decorative golden border. Its dimensions work out to be about 36 inches long, 18 inches wide, and 27 inches high. And just like the ark, it has rings and staves so it can be carried. This table and its golden utensils were made to always hold bread before the Lord, a constant symbol of provision. This little comparison really gives us a sense of scale. You can see the table is a bit smaller than the ark, but it stands at the exact same height. Visualizing the numbers like this kind of helps us map out the proportions of the sanctuary's interior, to see how these sacred objects would actually fit together in that space. And now, for the final piece of furniture we're going to look at from this chapter, it is an object of pure light and just incredible, intricate design forged from a single piece of precious metal, the golden candlestick, or as you might know it, the menorah.
Now, the key phrase right here is of beaten work. This is so important. This thing isn't assembled from different parts screwed together. The instructions are very clear. The entire complex structure has to be hammered and sculpted out of one solid piece of gold. I mean, that speaks to an absolutely extraordinary level of craftsmanship.
The complexity here is just mind-blowing. The design is totally organic, inspired by nature. You've got a central stalk with branches, and it's all decorated with these almond blossom motifs, including buds and flowers. Now, can you even imagine trying to create this entire seven-branched, ornate structure from a single solid block of gold? It's a monumental, artistic, and technical challenge. It's just incredible. So, how big was that block of gold? The text says 1 talent. A talent was a unit of weight, not money, and most scholars figure it was about 75 pounds, or 34 kilograms. Just picture it, 75 pounds of pure gold being beaten and shaped into this single intricate lampstand. The value is just immense. So we've looked at the offerings, the ark, the table, and the candlestick. But the chapter closes with one final, overarching instruction that completely reframes everything we've just learned. It changes everything. This right here, this is the master key to the entire blueprint. Moses isn't being told to invent these things based on a list of rules. No, he's being commanded to create a faithful replica of a pattern that was already shown to him on the mountain. These earthly objects are meant to be copies of a pre-existing heavenly model. And that just leaves us with this huge, fascinating question to think about. The text presents this magnificent sanctuary with all its pure gold, its incredible craftsmanship, its deep symbolism, as just a shadow, a physical copy of a greater, unseen reality, which really forces us to ask, what in the world could that divine, original pattern possibly look like?